All right. Hey guys. So far, when it comes to weather forecast, we've learned about the mercury barometer. We have, which we know is used to measure the air pressure in the atmosphere. We know that thermometer can be used for measuring the air temperature in the atmosphere, and there's something called the anemometer, which is used for measuring the speed of the wind. And if you had to measure the direction of the wind, we would use the chicken with the arrow, or that's what I call it. But the official term for that is wind vane. That's spelled like a VANE. Now, let's move forward and try to learn about how we can use radar and satellites also to predict what weather might look like. Now, using Doppler radar, which is a kind of radar, people or meteorologists who are trying to observe the weather can predict a tornado up to 20 minutes before it even touches the ground. Now, these satellites or radar can actually give us information that can be used to track precipitation. And that's what we're trying to figure out in this image right here. A radar can be used to find the location, movement, or even the amount of precipitation. It can also detect what type or what form of precipitation a weather system is carrying. Now, if you guys remember, there are different types of precipitation. There can be rain, hail, or snow, right? So these radars can actually help us predict what type or precipitation the weather system is carrying. And the Doppler radar is often what you see in a local TV weather report. And it is what is used to track the precipitation. And weather satellites that orbit the Earth actually provide us with the images of the weather systems that is seen on the TV weather reports. Of course, satellites are very much advanced, so they can also track storms, measure wind speeds. They can also measure humidity and temperatures at different altitudes. Of course, they're intelligent, so that's what we would expect them to do. Now, throughout history, when people did not have radio or satellites, what they would do is predict the weather by approaching or by predicting, sorry, they predict the weather by interpreting natural signs. Animals and plants would generally be more sensitive to changes in the atmospheric conditions, such as air pressure or humidity or temperature, as compared to us humans. So they would try to figure out these signs from animals, from their behavior. Are they trying to find shelter and so on? To kind of predict what kind of weather they might have, or severe weather they might have in the future. Now, we also have something called weather maps. In the United States, the National Weather Service, or the NWS, and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, or NOAA, is responsible for actually collecting and analyzing the weather data. The NWS produces weather maps based on the information gathered from about 1,000 weather stations across the United States. On these maps, each station is represented by a station model. A station model, as you can see in this figure right here, is a small circle that shows the location of the weather station. Now it is surrounded by a small circle. Surrounding the circle is a set of symbols and numbers which represent the weather data. Now, as you can see here, it tells us about the type of precipitation. It tells the number 27 is the dew point temperature in Fahrenheit. This tells us about this line right here tells us about the wind direction or the wind speed is by the shorter angle of this line, and amount of cloud cover is shown by this the black area, and the number 196 is the abbreviated version of the barometric pressure in millibars, and the temperature 38 degree Fahrenheit. So we're assuming that the air temperature in the atmosphere at that time is 38. Now, This is a good image of what a weather map might look like. Now you can use this table right here to kind of figure out what the weather is in different areas. Now we can see that this red line right here with a bunch of circles represents a warm front. Now if you guys remember, it's where a front is where a front is the point where two different air masses meet, right? And there are also some cold fronts right here. And then we can see that the letter H represents high pressure and the letter L represents low pressure. In some areas there's fog, as can be depicted by this yellow little coloring right here. And you can use this chart to kind of understand what it is. And as you can see, these lines, these little white lines, are actually called isobars. Now, isobars actually are actually the lines that connect different types or like not exactly different types, but like they are the lines that connect points of equal air pressure. And when there is a closed circle, when these lines form a closed circle of some sort, that area is usually marked on a map with either a capital letter H or capital letter L, depending on low or high pressure, as you can see over here. When it forms a closed circle over here, you can see that it either has a high pressure or a low pressure. In this case, it's a low pressure. In this case, when it's forming a complete closed circle, which we cannot see because the map is not complete here, you can depict or you can represent it with a letter. In this case, it's a high pressure area. So this is how you can use the map to kind of analyze the kind of weather or climate that they might have in the future or in that particular day for that given atmospheric conditions. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.